Farmer walks into airport to buy jet. Salesman laughs, then sees his bank account. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. He walked into the private jet showroom wearing dusty boots, jeans stained with earth, and a flannel shirt. Everyone stared. A few salesmen chuckled under their breath. He was black, middle-aged, and clearly out of place, or so they thought. "You lost, sir?" one of them asked, smirking. But he just nodded toward the jet and said, "I'm here to buy that one." The laughter stopped, but not the judgment. What no one knew was that this humble farmer was about to expose just how deep prejudice can run and how wrong assumptions can cost everything. Watch till the end. Walter Jones wasn't your typical millionaire. He owned over 2,000 acres of farmland in the rural South, which had been passed down to him from his grandfather, who had once been a sharecropper. Walter had worked every inch of that soil himself, rising before dawn, fighting droughts, storms, and market crashes. Quiet and unassuming, he wore the same clothes every day, drove a muddy pickup, and rarely left the county. But after a decade of success and a skyrocketing organic produce business, he made a bold decision to invest in a private jet to expand operations nationwide. It wasn't about ego, it was efficiency. But as he stepped into that luxurious airport hangar, excited for the next step, he didn't expect the stares, the cold glances, or the laughter. In that moment, Walter wasn't seen as a business mogul. He was just another black man who, in their eyes, didn't belong. The moment Walter walked in, the atmosphere changed. The sleek showroom was filled with wealthy-looking clients in suits, sipping espresso as salesmen in tailored blazers circled like hawks. But no one approached Walter. He waited, then waited some more. Finally, he walked up to a jet and ran his hand along the side. That's when one salesman reluctantly strolled over, raising an eyebrow. "You know this is a G550, right? It's not for tours," he said. Walter nodded. "I know exactly what it is." The salesman smiled sarcastically. "Well, if you're interested, we can show you some financing options." He emphasized the word as if it were a joke. Walter replied, "I'll pay cash." The man blinked. "Cash? Wire transfer." Still thinking it was a bluff, the salesman chuckled and called over his manager. A few taps later, their smiles dropped. Walter's bank statement, flashing across the screen, showed more than enough to buy 3 jets. Silence fell. Suddenly, their tone changed. Offers, cappuccinos, brochures, everything came rushing toward him. But Walter stood still. The damage was done. They hadn't seen a successful businessman. They saw a stereotype. And even after seeing his wealth, their apologies felt hollow. It wasn't about money. It was about respect. And Walter was done being underestimated. Walter looked the manager in the eye. "You didn't want to serve me until you saw my account. What if I were just here to ask questions? What if I didn't have millions? Would I still be treated like I didn't belong?" The room was silent. He turned and walked past the jet, ignoring their sudden kindness. He had the money, but now he wanted nothing from them. Later that week, Walter bought the same model jet, but not from them. He flew at home, pilot hired, contract signed, without ever setting foot in that showroom again. The company? They lost a multi-million-dollar sale and gained a reputation because Walter shared his story, and people listened. Walter never wanted sympathy. He wanted change. His story went viral, not because he bought a jet, but because of what it exposed. How often are people judged by their skin, their clothes, their accent, before anyone even bothers to know their name? Racism doesn't always scream. Sometimes it smirks. Walter reminded the world that success doesn't always wear a suit, and that dignity isn't earned. It's owed. His quiet protest became a powerful message that respect shouldn't come after a bank balance is shown. The next time you judge someone by their appearance, ask yourself, what are you not seeing? If you enjoyed this story and found it thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful narratives. Please share your thoughts in the comments.